Hi, this is a quickie about making little plastic boxes for bits of electronics. This is an older one I made. I heated the plastic to bend it. That's a less good way than what I'm going to do here. I'm trying to make a box for this WEMOS D1 Mini, and I've laid out an Inkscape just about what the box should be. And I'm going to use some PET plastic, polyethylene terephthalate. I assume that all makers just keep, this stuff that everything is packaged in nowadays, because hell, you got to have this. So this is about 13 mil. First, I'm just going to outline what I have to cut out here. Cut out. Okay, and here's the outline. Here's the cutout piece of plastic that this thing is going to fit in. And now to bend it, this is called a hand seamer. This is for, making ductwork, making bends in sheet metal ductwork, I think. But it works really well for this stuff. So cold bending this doesn't leave it very fragile. It's just fine. There's nothing real magic about this tool, but it's very convenient for this. Now,
I need one. How much does it cost?
The problem, wow, this is from Pittsburgh. Does anybody know who sells Pittsburgh equipment? So it starts out easy, but after a while, as you make these bends, you find out that the thing is becoming more and more three-dimensional. And then, well, you can't do that because this is in the way. And then you got to unbend the ones that you bent. And so that's part of the problem. You have to kind of finesse things.
Is there an order that works for you?
No, not that I know of. So you try things and see what they do. Now, I didn't cut an end out for this. And I think I'm probably not going to completely finish this. What I found is that super glue works pretty well, and of course super glue with an accelerator. Little sanding, certainly alcohol wipe on the edges that you're going to glue. Hot melt works pretty well too. So I've done tabs on several sides. When you're trying to squeeze it together, hot melt or super glue, bending these pieces out a little bit so there's a little bit of spring outward, so that when you are pushing them together to seat the glue, the piece in the back is kind of pushing back at you a little bit. That helps. And same thing for this. So this will be the box. This is what it will be like, and this is fully functional, not beautiful, but would get the job done. I'm going to need to cut out a hole in one of these ends for the wires to come out. And so some clever maker here suggested that if I make a fold, an arbitrary fold, then I can start to cut with a pair of scissors and cutting in from the outside without trying to cut from the center. So that was a very clever suggestion.
Crafters Unite.
That's why we hang out at Makerspaces, because it's clever people. So this is using the don't measure at all and cut twice methodology. Okay, so here's our box. There's a hole. That's probably big enough to get this stuff through.
That's maker improvisation.
Except that these ends are bigger than the hole, This one unplugs, but these are soldered on. I'm gonna make a relief in this tab so that that also will clear the wires that have to go in there.
Is that because some wires are soldered to the board already?
No, that's because when this folded over, this tab was going to cover up part of the hole. So I've got to make relief here. Now I'll also have to make a relief cut in here just because some of these wires are soldered on. That's a separate error. The little nonsense hacks like this that you have to do just to make the pieces fit together and the wires go through. Anybody can figure that out. That's not hard. Dealing with this quite three-dimensional thing, especially when you're trying to cut or make additional folds, is a challenge. So there's some finessing that needs to be done with that. Okay, so I think we have an assemblable box, kind of like that. So this is kind of what we're shooting for. I'm going to wipe down the edges that are going to get glued, because of course you always wipe everything down with alcohol before you glue it.
Why is that?
Or put labels on it. Just finger oils and stuff that make the adhesive not stick very well. This is going to be a particularly sloppy one, but oh well. And I'm touching it too. Okay, so let's see if we have hot glue. Okay, looks like we've got hot glue. And the order of assembly, I don't know. I guess I'm going to try this long edge first to kind of give the whole thing some rigidity. And as I said, having the back piece out a little bit makes it so that when you try to squeeze these together, it's pushing back a little bit, because otherwise it kind of just collapses into the box. This will be sloppy. It's okay. And before you do this, of course, make sure that the corners line up and that it's all where you want it to be, like I didn't. Okay, next, prying this back piece out so that it's got some spring to push the glue against. Okay. Here's number 2. Feels like, ouch, some of that, the tip of the glue gun was melting the PET plastic. Okay. And the last side, I'm not going to get any spring out of this. Oh well. This is almost going to be 2 separate little blobs of glue. That's so that I can burn my fingers in 2 different places at the same time. Well, it worked out better than it might have. So here's the finished box. Lots of little glue trails to take off. So the goal was for cheap, just for scrap plastic that every maker keeps, and some measuring layout. Now I've got an acceptable mechanical enclosure for this, whatever this thing is. There you go.